Most traders believe cutting losses quickly is always right. But here's the paradox that separates winners from the 87% who fail. Your most profitable periods often begin immediately after your most devastating losses, but only if you respond like an operator, not a gambler. The moment you chase a loss, you transform your trading terminal into a casino where the house always wins. Winners and losers separate at the first red candle after pain. Losers double down to get back even, while winners go flat and think like risk managers. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step protocol to stop chasing losses in real time, rebuild discipline, and protect your compounding curve. Ignore this, and the consequences compound. Drawdowns widen, confidence collapses. Accounts die. I've witnessed hundreds of traders, including my own early disasters, not because strategies failed, but because we refused to stop when hurt. The market is a mirror reflecting your internal state, amplifying every psychological pattern. Today, we'll crack open the 2-minute circuit breaker that kills a chase mid-click, the expectancy math that cuts risk of ruin, and the forward mantra that ends revenge trading forever. Ask yourself, when you're bleeding red, do you become the desperate gambler or the disciplined operator? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The loss itself is rarely fatal. Your reaction to it is. One click made in anger can erase a month of precise work. Think about your worst trading day, the one that still makes your stomach clench. I guarantee it didn't end with your first loss. It ended after you tried to win back what you'd already lost. The gambler sees red numbers and thinks, I can't end the day down. I need to make this back. They increase position sizes, abandon their rules, and turn systematic trading into emotional roulette. Their pulse climbs, breathing becomes shallow, and that mouse hand gets heavy. They're not trading the market, they're fighting it. The operator sees the same red numbers and thinks differently. This is statistical variance. My job is to preserve capital and wait for the next high probability setup. They step away from screens, create distance, and prepare for tomorrow's opportunities with capital intact. They understand that today's loss is tomorrow's lesson, not today's emergency. Consider Mark, a trader I mentored. Solid strategy, fatal flaw? After losing trades, he'd chase. I watched him turn disciplined 1% risks into 5% or 10% losses, sometimes destroying accounts in single afternoons. The pain of initial losses was so acute, he couldn't walk away. He felt compelled to do something, believing action beat inaction. But he wasn't finding edges. He was digging deeper holes, fueled by revenge trading and abandoned rules. The market doesn't care about your mortgage payment or your pride. It's a stern teacher that returns your paper with red marks and expects you to study, not argue. Show up desperate, and it takes everything. Show up disciplined, and it rewards patience. This choice, gambler or operator, defines your trading destiny. The gambler is trapped in emotional highs and lows, battling inner demons. The operator cultivates detachment, understanding true power comes from managing risk and executing predefined plans. Sometimes, doing nothing after a loss is the most strategic action. Your edge is fragile. Guard it. The operator has protocols before the bell, checklists, maximum daily losses, predefined stops, exit plans, and no second attempts without resets rules. The gambler has moods. We'll install that 2-minute circuit breaker and make it automatic. When you feel the chase priming, pulse climbing, vision narrowing, name it. Stand up. Create distance. 2 minutes can save 2 months. But why does your brain betray you precisely when you need it most? What neurological triggers push you toward that self-destructive chase button, even when you know better? The battle isn't just with markets. It's an internal war fought in your neural pathways. Understanding this hidden saboteur is your first step to victory. Here's why your brain becomes your worst enemy the moment positions turn red. Neurological research reveals that losses register 2.5 times stronger in your brain than equivalent gains, triggering ancient fight or flight responses that turn rational traders into revenge-seeking gamblers. Your amygdala, designed to help cavemen escape saber-toothed tigers, now hijacks your prefrontal cortex when you see red numbers, flooding your system with cortisol and adrenaline. This caveman trader response explains why a $1,000 loss feels devastating, while a $1,000 gain feels merely satisfying. Picture your brain as two competing systems locked in constant battle. The rational trader sits in your prefrontal cortex, analyzing charts, calculating risk-reward ratios, and making logical decisions based on probabilities. But lurking beneath is the caveman trader, your limbic system, constantly scanning for threats and preparing for survival. When losses hit, the caveman seizes control with chemical force. This isn't your fault. Evolution wired us for immediate physical threats, not abstract financial risks. When our ancestors faced danger, hesitation meant death. Quick, aggressive action meant survival. Your brain applies this same life-or-death urgency to trading losses, treating a stopped-out position like a charging predator. The rational trader gets shoved aside, while the caveman screams, "Fight back, don't retreat." Three neurological traps work in deadly concert. First, loss aversion, that 2.5x pain multiplier that makes every red candle feel catastrophic. Losing $100 literally hurts more than gaining $250 feels good. This asymmetry drives irrational behavior, making you avoid small planned losses even when taking greater risks. Second, the sunk cost fallacy kicks in. Once you've invested time, analysis, and emotional energy into a trade, your brain desperately wants to justify that investment. "I can't cut it now. I've put too much into it," becomes the rallying cry. It's like continuing to pour money into a broken car because you've already spent so much on repairs. The market doesn't care about your previous losses, but your brain can't let go. Third, these biases converge into FOMO-driven revenge trading. After a loss, stress hormones flood your system, creating artificial urgency where patience is needed. Your brain craves equilibrium, demands justice. The fear of missing the recovery combines with loss pain to create an overwhelming urge to jump back in without proper analysis. You're not seeking an edge, you're seeking retribution. Marcus experienced this hijacking firsthand. He planned a conservative swing trade, risking one unit with a clear stop. The position moved a move against him, triggering his planned exit for a clean 1R loss. But as the red number flashed, something primal awakened. His heart rate spiked, breathing shortened. The loss felt like personal attack, not market randomness. "The market is wrong," his caveman brain declared. "I need to show it who's boss." Marcus doubled his position size, abandoning his stop loss. When that trade went deeper red, he tripled down. "I can't be wrong 3 times, he reasoned, but reason had already left the building. Within 90 minutes, his planned 1R loss became a 12R account destroyer. Marcus's brain interpreted his loss as mortal danger. The teacher market was simply grading his homework. Some trades win, some lose, all provide data. But his threat detection system couldn't distinguish between financial loss and physical peril. His ancient survival programming demanded immediate counterattack against an imaginary enemy. This isn't weakness, it's biology. But biology can be managed when you understand and anticipate it. Professional operators don't suppress these impulses. They've developed systematic overrides. They know their caveman brain will try to interfere, so they build protocols that engage the prefrontal cortex and restore rational thinking. The prefrontal override protocol creates space between stimulus and response, interrupting the chemical hijacking before it destroys accounts. But operators need more than calm. They need unshakable conviction to sit on their hands until odds favor them again. Where does that conviction come from? not from hope or positive thinking, but from cold, hard mathematics, the casino's edge applied to your trading system. Once you see expectancy clearly, patience stops feeling passive and becomes your sharpest competitive weapon. If trading feels like an emotional roller coaster, you're missing the mathematical foundation that separates professional operators from gambling addicts. Casinos don't win every hand, but their edge ensures long-term profitability, and your trading needs the same mathematical certainty. This chapter reveals positive expectancy, the bedrock of every consistently profitable system. Walk into any casino and observe the house. They're not stressed about individual hands or celebrating wins. They understand something profound. Individual outcomes are meaningless when you have mathematical edge over hundreds of trials. The casino's confidence comes from cold mathematics, not hot emotions. Here's the math that changes everything. A strategy with only 40% winners can generate massive wealth if average wins are 2.5 RR, while average losses stay at 1 R. Expected value per trade, 0.40x 2.5 R, plumber 0.60x 1 R, 0.4 R, 0.40x 2 im IVR, 0.60x 1 R, 0.4 R per trade. Over 100 trades, that's plus 40 R of pure mathematical edge. Your account grows not because you're right more often, but because you're right bigger when you're right and wrong, smaller when you're wrong. The number of winners is not the edge. The size of your winners relative to your losers is the edge. Most traders obsess over win rate, but it's the least important metric. Would you rather win 90% of trades and lose money, or win 30% and build wealth? Consider Sarah, the system trader who built a 7-figure account with a 38% win rate. Her secret wasn't prediction, it was mathematics. She identified setups where she could risk 1 unit to make 2.4 units consistently. When wrong, she lost exactly what she planned. When right, she captured her full target without premature exits. Sarah's expectancy? 0.3 takes 2 or R, plus 0.62x 0.90 R, plus 0.10 bar R, 0.382 C4 R, plus 0.62 0.98 R, 304 R per trade. Starting with $50,000 and risking 2% per trade, she compounded to $1.3 million over 5 years through pure statistical advantage. Her 38% win rate meant enduring 7 consecutive losses multiple times. But she understood this was probability, not failure. Meanwhile, Jake the gambler destroyed 3 accounts despite a 65% win rate. His problem wasn't accuracy, it was asymmetry. Fear made him exit winners early for small profits. Hope made him hold losers for massive losses. His winners averaged 0.0 R, while his losers averaged 3.2 R. Jake's expectancy, 0.65 Zuts. TR plus 30 Bame, 3.2 R. 6 R, 0.7 Mais, 90 R, 30 Bang, 3.2 R, 1 R per trade. Despite being right nearly 2/3 of the time, every trade had negative expected value. His high win rate felt good emotionally, but guaranteed mathematical ruin. The casino metaphor becomes crystal clear. You're not trying to win every hand. You're playing a statistical edge over hundreds of hands. Individual trades are data points, not destinations. Your job is to execute your edge repeatedly, while the law of large numbers works in your favor. This mindset shift is profound. Losses stop feeling like failures and become cost of doing business. Wins stop feeling like validation and become expected outcomes. You develop the casino owner's detachment because mathematics guarantee profitability over time. Expectancy reframes patience. When you know your edge, doing nothing becomes strategic action. You don't need to win today. You need to execute your distribution across the next 200 trades. Start measuring in R, not dollars. Dollars trigger your caveman brain. R normalizes the game. But here's the psychological trap. Even perfect expectancy means nothing if you can't execute consistently. One emotional override can destroy months of mathematical advantage. Sarah's 38% win rate meant consecutive losses were not only possible, but probable. During those streaks, her brain screamed the same messages that destroyed Marcus. The system is broken. Do something different. The difference? Sarah had translated mathematical certainty into unshakable psychological discipline. Her expectancy gave her permission to be wrong repeatedly, because being wrong was part of being right, long-term. How do we build that same conviction? How do we translate mathematical certainty into psychological resilience when consecutive losses test every fiber of our discipline? The answer lies in systematic execution protocols that remove emotion from the equation entirely. You understand the math, but how do you execute it when your brain screams revenge after 3 straight losses? Professional operators use the sniper's discipline, a mental model built on surgical precision and the unbreakable if-then protocol. A sniper doesn't spray bullets hoping to hit something. They wait for perfect conditions, then execute with absolute precision. Your trading must adopt this same surgical approach. Picture a military sniper's mindset during a critical mission. They can wait hours or days for the perfect shot, motionless in hostile territory. Weather conditions must align perfectly. Target positioning must be exact. Wind speed calculated to the decimal. Distance measured precisely. Only when all variables converge do they squeeze the trigger. One shot, one outcome, no second guessing. They don't take shots because they're bored, frustrated, or because the last shot missed. They execute only when probability overwhelmingly favors success. The if-then system removes emotion from execution entirely by pre-deciding every possible scenario. If price breaks 2,050 with volume confirmation, then I enter long with 20 pip stop. If it hits 2,020, then I take 50% profit. If it hits my stop, then I exit immediately without question. This transforms trading from emotional reactions into predetermined responses. Your brain craves certainty in uncertainty, and the if-then protocol provides that certainty by eliminating real-time decision-making under pressure. The 3 pillars of sniper discipline create an unbreakable foundation for systematic execution. First, pre-planned entries eliminate random clicks entirely. Before markets open, you identify exact entry criteria with surgical precision. Support breaks with volume, moving average reclaim with momentum, specific candlestick patterns at predetermined levels. Write them down with mathematical specificity. If your criteria aren't met perfectly, you don't trade. No exceptions, no maybes, no close enough justifications. Second, mechanical exits remove hope and fear from position management completely. Your stop loss and profit targets are set before entry, based on technical levels and risk-reward ratios, never emotions. When price hits your predetermined levels, you execute without hesitation or negotiation. No, just a few more pips thinking. No, maybe it will reverse hoping. The market has rendered its verdict. You accept and act immediately. Third, emotional detachment treats each trade as statistical data, not personal validation. You're not right or wrong. You're collecting data points that either fit your probability distribution or don't. A stopped-out trade isn't failure. It's your system working correctly by limiting risk. A winning trade isn't genius. It's expected mathematical outcome over time. Here's your execution checklist to make this systematic. Is the market condition aligned with your system? Is the level predefined and tested? Is there proper confirmation? Is risk sized to exactly 1R? Is the stop placed and immovable? Is the profit-taking plan crystal clear? Have you logged the pre-trade reasoning? Are you under your daily trade limit? Are you below your drawdown threshold? Are you emotionally calm? If any answer is no, the trade is no. There is no maybe. Maybe is how gamblers rationalize breaking rules. Consider Elena, a day trader who lost 3 consecutive trades before 10 a.m. Her old pattern was doubling position size to win it back immediately. We installed the if-then protocol plus systematic barriers. Loss number 3 triggered, then stop trading for the day. She initially resisted, but next morning, the A+ setup reappeared. She took 2 qualified trades for Pulse 3.6R, finishing green. The edge wasn't new. The systematic execution was everything. The mirror market reflects your internal state with ruthless accuracy. Show up scattered, and it scatters your capital across random trades. Show up disciplined with predetermined responses, and it rewards systematic execution through consistent profitability. When you're internally chaotic, second-guessing entries, moving stops, taking profits early, the market punishes this chaos. When you're internally disciplined, following rules, accepting outcomes, staying systematic, the market rewards this discipline. But even elite snipers miss in sandstorms. Perfect protocols mean nothing without environmental support that makes good decisions automatic and destructive impulses nearly impossible. Willpower fails when emotions run high, so professional operators engineer their environment to make good decisions automatic and destructive impulses nearly impossible. This chapter delivers your complete anti-chase fortress. 5 systematic barriers that protect you from yourself. Think of these barriers like safety systems on a nuclear reactor. Each serves a specific function, but together, they create multiple fail-safes that prevent catastrophic meltdowns when your emotional reactor overheats after losses. Technology guardrails removes the weapons of mass account destruction from your fingertips. Disable one-click market orders completely. They're loaded guns for revenge trading. Configure your platform to require limit orders from pre-planned levels only, creating crucial friction between impulse and execution. Install position sizing calculators that automatically compute proper risk based on your account size and stop distance, preventing oversizing even when emotions scream to double down. Hide real-time P&L displays and show only R multiples to reduce emotional attachment. Set bracket orders with stops and targets attached automatically, removing the temptation to modify exits mid-trade. Time buffers creates mandatory cooling-off periods when emotions run hottest. Institute a non-negotiable 10-minute cooldown after any stop-out before placing another trade. Stand up, hydrate, write one line about the emotion you're feeling. Implement strict no-trading rules within 5 minutes of major news releases when volatility spikes unpredictably. Establish daily trading windows with hard cutoffs like 9:45, 11:30 a.m., and 1:30, 3:30 p.m. If you hit 3 trades or 2 consecutive losses, trigger automatic session lockout. These time barriers force distance when your caveman brain is most active. Physical environment transforms your trading space into a discipline-reinforcing command center. Create a dedicated area free from distractions. No social media, no unrelated news feeds, no personal communications during market hours. Post emergency protocols in clear view. Stop trading at 2% daily loss. Maximum 3 trades per session. Walk away after 3 consecutive losses. Keep your phone in airplane mode across the room to eliminate external emotional triggers. Your environment should whisper discipline, not tempt chaos. Risk Circuits provides automatic account protection when you're too emotional to protect yourself. Configure platform lockouts at 2% daily drawdown. When you hit this threshold, trading becomes impossible until tomorrow. Program position sizing to decrease automatically after consecutive losses. Normal size for first loss, 75% for second, 50% for third. Implement maximum 3 trades per session rules with platform enforcement. These circuits don't rely on willpower. They make destructive behavior impossible. Accountability systems creates external oversight when internal discipline wavers. Maintain a trading journal tracking not just trades, but emotional states before, during, and after each position. Rate your emotional control 1 to 10 for every trade. Schedule weekly reviews with an accountability partner who spots patterns you're blind to. Require screenshot documentation for every setup. This simple act often prevents impulsive entries that can't be justified later. The 2-minute circuit breaker serves as your emergency emotional reset. When you feel the chase, impulse, pulse quickening, vision narrowing, that "I need to win this back" thought, step away from all screens immediately. Practice box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Repeat for exactly 120 seconds. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol while re-engaging your prefrontal cortex. After 2 minutes, reassess with fresh perspective. Often, the urge has completely dissolved. Environment beats motivation every single time. Motivation is a motion that comes and goes. Environment is a system that operates regardless of how you feel. The strongest traders aren't those with the most willpower. They're those with systems that make willpower irrelevant. But what happens when even these perfectly engineered environments face their ultimate stress test? When news breaks, volatility explodes, and market chaos triggers every psychological weakness you've worked to overcome, your fortress is built, but the market is an unpredictable beast that will test every system. This chapter walks through 3 critical scenarios where gamblers and operators diverge completely, revealing how the same market conditions create opposite outcomes based on identity and preparation. News whipsaw chaos. The NFP report drops at 8:30 a.m. EUR USD rockets 80 pips in 3 minutes, then crashes 120 pips in the next 12. Volatility explodes, spreads widen, and emotional traders everywhere lose their minds. The gambler's heartbeat outraces the candle speed. He sees the spike and smashes a market buy at 1.0852. No stop because it's obviously going higher. When price reverses violently, panic floods his system. Instead of cutting losses, he averages down at 1.0820, then again at 1.0790. "This has to bounce," he whispers, but the crash continues. 20 minutes later, he's down, 5R, with margin calls approaching. His fortress crumbled because he abandoned every protocol when emotions peaked. The operator never fired a shot. His "no trades within 10 minutes of major news" barrier kept him flat during the chaos. He watches other traders destroy themselves while taking notes on key levels. After volatility subsides, he identifies a measured retracement setup at 1.0765 with clear risk parameters. One clean entry nets him 1.8R while others bleed. Same event, different identity, opposite outcome. The boredom chop. 3 hours of sideways grinding between 1.0780 and 1.0820. No momentum, no clear direction. Just mind-numbing consolidation that tests patience more than skill. The gambler can't handle doing nothing. Boredom triggers his action bias, the psychological need to make something happen. He takes 8 random trades, quick scalps, premature breakouts, counter-trend reversals. Each bleeds a little through spreads and commissions. By session end, he's down, 3R, without a single significant move. His need for constant action turned neutral conditions into wealth destruction. The operator recognizes low-probability environments immediately. His system requires trending markets with momentum and clear structure. When those conditions aren't present, his fortress says, "no trades." He executes 0 positions during the chop, preserving capital and emotional energy for tomorrow's setups. While the gambler bleeds slowly, the operator stays flat and ready. Patience becomes his competitive advantage. The almost breakout fake. Price approaches key resistance at 1.0850, building pressure for 2 hours. Volume increases, momentum builds. Breakout seems inevitable. Then it fails spectacularly, trapping everyone who anticipated the move. The gambler can't resist front-running the obvious level. He enters at 1.0845, convinced he's early before the breakout crowd arrives. When price fails and drops to 1.0820, his stop triggers for 1R. But revenge mode activates instantly. It's going to break eventually, he rationalizes, re-entering at 1.0840. Another failure costs 1.5R. One more attempt at 1.0835 bleeds another 1.5R. Total damage, 4R on a setup that never materialized. The operator waits for confirmed breaks with retests. His if-then protocol requires price to break 1.0850, hold above for 2 candles, then successfully retest as support. When the fake out occurs, he takes no action because his criteria weren't met. Later, when price genuinely breaks and retests successfully, he enters with predefined risk. The trade either stops him out for 1R or runs to close to 0.5R target. One shot, proper risk, systematic execution. Same charts, different identities, opposite results. The teacher market grades fairly. It rewards preparation and punishes impulse. It doesn't care about your emotions or mortgage payments. It simply reflects your internal state through your account balance. Notice the pattern. Gamblers trade their feelings while operators trade their plans. The mirror market amplifies whatever you bring to it. Chaos inside equals chaos outside. Your fortress exists to prevent that single moment where emotion multiplies risk beyond recovery. But how do we make this identity shift, permanent rather than temporary? How do we ensure you automatically become the operator in these scenarios without conscious effort or willpower? We've built the systems, but lasting change requires a fundamental shift in how you see yourself. This chapter orchestrates the complete identity transformation from dice roller, hoping for luck, to risk manager executing systematic edge. Your self-worth cannot be tied to individual trade outcomes, but to unwavering process adherence. Here's the breakthrough insight that changes everything. An amateur trader tries to follow rules, while a professional operator is a rules follower. That subtle difference in language reflects a profound difference in internal programming. When you internalize an identity, your actions become automatic and effortless because they align with who you believe yourself to be. You don't try to be patient. You are patient because that's what risk managers do. The Identity Trinity provides your transformation framework. First, mind. I think in probabilities, not predictions. Stop trying to be right about market direction and start being right about risk management. Your edge isn't knowing what happens next. It's knowing how to respond regardless of what happens. You're not forecasting the future. You're calculating odds and positioning for favorable outcomes over time. Second, language. I manage risk, not take trades. Words shape thoughts. Thoughts shape actions. Gamblers take trades hoping to win. Operators manage risk expecting to profit through systematic edge. When someone asks about your trading, respond, I manage risk in financial markets. This subtle language shift reinforces your professional identity every time you speak. Third, actions. I follow systems, not emotions. Your behavior must align with your new identity consistently. Operators don't make exceptions because they feel lucky or unlucky. They execute predetermined protocols regardless of internal emotional weather. Consider David, the transformed trader who exemplifies this identity shift. Former gambling addict, he initially brought destructive patterns to trading, chasing losses, oversizing positions, abandoning stops when emotions peaked. His breakthrough came through systematic identity reconstruction, not strategy optimization. David's daily practice included morning affirmations reinforcing his new identity. I am a risk manager first, profit seeker second. I execute my system with precision and detachment. These weren't feel-good platitudes, but deliberate neural programming to override old identity patterns. His process-focused journaling tracked system compliance rather than profits. Each trade received grades. Did I follow entry criteria? Did I honor my stop? Did I maintain emotional detachment? Green days with perfect process scores mattered more than red days with broken rules. David's mantra became his trading compass. I am a risk manager first, profit seeker second. When tempted to chase losses or overtrade, This phrase anchored him to his new identity. The profits became byproducts of excellent risk management rather than the primary goal. Implement the mirror test after each session. Write one sentence. Today I acted like a gambler, operator, because this forces conscious reflection on identity alignment. Today I acted like an operator because I followed my system despite 3 consecutive losses. Or honestly, today I acted like a gambler because I doubled position size after the first loss. This simple practice reinforces identity through conscious self-assessment. The professional protocol structures your daily identity reinforcement. Morning intention setting defines today's edge and maximum risk before emotions interfere. Today, I will execute my breakout system with 1% risk per trade, maximum 3 attempts, hard stop at 2%, daily loss. Your execution checklist ensures each trade meets system criteria before entry. Evening review measures process adherence, not P&L performance. Identity drives behavior more powerfully than any strategy ever could. The market is a mirror reflecting whatever you believe about yourself. Show up as a professional, get professional results. Show up as a gambler, and the teacher market will grade you accordingly. This isn't about faking confidence. It's about intentionally building a new self-image that aligns with consistent profitability. Your trading account becomes the scorecard for your identity work. Consistent profitability reflects solid identity alignment. Erratic results reveal identity confusion. Part of you still believes in gambling approaches despite knowing better intellectually. But identity shifts require ongoing reinforcement and community support. How do we make this transformation permanent rather than temporary? The difference between traders who survive and those who thrive isn't dramatic. It's the compound effect of small, consistent disciplines executed over time. This chapter reveals how tiny improvements in risk management, emotional control, and system adherence create exponential results through the miracle of compounding. Most traders chase the spectacular while ignoring the systematic. They want breakthrough strategies and dramatic transformations. But wealth in trading comes from the same source as everywhere else: compound growth over time. The mathematics are unforgiving in their simplicity. The mathematics of discipline reveals why consistency beats intensity every single time. A trader averaging 15% annually with 8% maximum drawdowns will vastly outperform someone making 50% one year and losing 30% the next. Here's why. Lose 50% and you need 100% just to break even. Lose 8% and only 8.7% gets you back on track. The steady performer compounds wealth, while the volatile performer fights recovery cycles that destroy long-term growth. Consider Maria, the compound queen who built $2.3 million over 8 years, starting with $50,000. Her returns weren't Instagram-worthy, averaging 18% annually, with drawdowns rarely exceeding 6%. No dramatic comebacks, no revenge trading stories, no emotional roller coasters, just relentless, boring execution of a simple system with pristine risk management. Maria's secret weapon was the daily 1% protocol, improving one small element each day rather than seeking dramatic breakthroughs. Monday, calibrate position sizing calculations to the exact dollar. Tuesday, refine pre-market level identification and alert systems. Wednesday, practice the 2-minute circuit breaker until it becomes automatic muscle memory. Thursday, enhance screenshot journaling with better entry context and emotion tracking. Friday, review expectancy by setup type and retire underperforming patterns. Each improvement was microscopic, but cumulative. Over 2,000 trading days, these tiny optimizations compounded into extraordinary edge refinement. Her system evolved from profitable to precise through incremental enhancement, not revolutionary change. Psychological compounding operates parallel to financial compounding with equal power. Each disciplined decision makes the next one easier by strengthening neural pathways associated with systematic execution. When Maria honored her stop-loss, despite being just a few pips from break-even, she made the next stop-loss easier to honor. When she resisted chasing after missing a breakout, she made future patience easier to maintain. Conversely, each emotional decision makes the next one harder to resist. One revenge trade makes the next feel normal. One oversized position makes future oversizing seem reasonable. You're either building discipline momentum or destroying it. There's no neutral ground. The boring trader paradox reveals why the most successful traders have the least exciting stories. They've eliminated drama through systematic preparation, making their trading journals read like accountant ledgers rather than thriller novels. Entered EUR/USD long at 1.0850, stop at 1.0830, target at 1.0890, exit at target, plus 1R. Repeat 1,000 times with minor variations. Maria's journal contained no emotional narratives, no dramatic reversals, no last-minute saves, just systematic documentation of systematic execution. Her most profitable months were often her most boring, because boring meant following her system perfectly without deviation. The market rewards patience, punishes excitement, and pays compound interest on consistent discipline. It's designed to seduce you toward drama while rewarding you for avoiding it. Every exciting trading story represents someone else's account destruction. Every boring trading story represents someone building generational wealth through disciplined execution. Your edge isn't your strategy. It's your ability to execute that strategy consistently over thousands of trades. The compound curve doesn't care about individual trade brilliance. It cares about systematic adherence over time. Ready to make this boring, profitable discipline your permanent operating system rather than a temporary improvement project? You've journeyed from understanding your brain's betrayal to building systematic defenses and forging a new identity. This final chapter synthesizes everything into your permanent operating system, the Operator's Creed, 5 unbreakable principles that will guide every trading decision for the rest of your career. I am a risk manager first, profit seeker second. Your primary job is capital preservation. Profits are the byproduct of excellent risk management. When you protect your downside relentlessly, the upside takes care of itself through positive expectancy over time. Every decision flows through this filter. Does this preserve my capital? Losses are tuition, not failure. Every stop-out is market education, not personal defeat. The teacher market charges tuition for its lessons. Your job is to pay the smallest possible fees while learning the most valuable lessons. A 1-1R loss, following your system perfectly, is success, not failure. Consistency beats intensity. Boring, systematic execution outperforms emotional home run swings every time. Maria's compound millions came from systematic mediocrity, not spectacular brilliance. Singles and doubles win trading championships, not grand slams that usually strike out. Process trumps outcome. You measure success by rule adherence, not individual trade results. Perfect process with negative results is temporary variance. Poor process with positive results is dangerous luck. Focus on the cause. The effect follows naturally. Patience is my competitive advantage. While others chase every moving price, you wait for predetermined edge. The sniper doesn't fire from boredom. He fires when conditions align perfectly. Your patience isn't passive. It's strategic positioning for maximum probability scenarios. The daily operator ritual hardwires these principles into muscle memory. Begin each morning with creed recitation, embedding these truths before markets open. Conduct pre-market system reviews, identifying today's setups and risk parameters. Execute post-session process audits, grading rule adherence regardless of P&L. Complete weekly identity assessments using the mirror test. Your forward anti-revenge mantra lives in your reflexes. Walk, don't win back. When the chase impulse strikes, These words cut through emotional noise with surgical precision. You don't need to win back losses immediately because your system wins them back systematically over time. The 2-minute circuit breaker becomes automatic when emotions peak. Step away. Breathe deliberately. Reset your nervous system. Then reassess with fresh perspective. This simple protocol has saved more accounts than any strategy ever could. The teacher market will continue providing lessons through wins, losses, and everything between. Your job remains constant. Show up as the disciplined student, not the emotional gambler. Learn from every outcome, but never abandon your systematic foundation for emotional impulses. You now possess the complete blueprint for sustainable trading success. The neurological understanding explains why your brain sabotages good intentions. The mathematical foundation provides unshakable confidence in your systematic edge. The if-then protocols remove emotion from execution entirely. The environmental fortress makes good decisions automatic while preventing destructive impulses. The professional identity aligns your actions with your goals automatically. Everything you need exists within this framework. No more searching for magic strategies or secret indicators. No more hoping for breakthrough moments or dramatic transformations. Just systematic application of proven principles that separate professional operators from gambling casualties. Here's your implementation checklist for tomorrow's open. Recite the creed, set your alerts, predefine stops and targets, confirm platform lockouts, establish your maximum daily loss, and select the one behavior you'll execute flawlessly, even if everything else fails. The choice is yours. Remain the gambler chasing losses with emotional intensity, or become the operator who profits from patient discipline. Your next trade will reveal which identity you've truly chosen. When the market opens tomorrow and your pulse rises at the first red candle, will you chase to soothe pain or wait to protect expectancy? Which trader will you be?